Get this underway and see what happens. We start off to the bottom right-hand side in this best-of-5 TvT qualifying match. One of these players will finally make it into the money and will finally make it to the global playoffs, which is what this whole tournament's been about. Those will be played out on Wednesday, by the way, just as a bit of a heads up. Bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player. This is Bunny. Up against the blue Terran to the top left, we have Cure. And let's see what's going to happen here in game number 1 of this series. Cure and Bunny is a matchup which people have been, I feel, very hyped about for quite a while. People keep telling me they're very excited to see it happen. They were very excited when they got drawn to the same section of the bracket. So we'll see what comes of it. As we do have the racks already on the way down here from Cure, so getting that underway at the moment. Obviously from Bunny as well. A little bit of a different position. Cure builds his away from the front. Bunny builds him his at the front as well. Let's see if he moves around on the right-hand side. Rax is going to finish. Reaper on the way up on either side. And Orbital coming through as well. So getting this underway. As we do just have the SCV going to come back and make a little bit of a star here on the natural. Get ready to drop the command center. So Bunny going to be expanding, as is Cure, already dropping down that CC on the other side of the map. And getting this ready to go. You guys are very quiet in the chat. Let me know what's up. Let me know how everyone is doing. Let's see this Reaper on its way, coming across to the right-hand side. Early game TvT. Man, it's a little bit of a shame we have TvT into TvT, but it's just the way the matches obviously work, right? Obviously some TvZ coming up after this. We're going to have Innovation versus Solar. After Inno Solar, we're going to have Trap versus Fantasy, and then we're going to have the winner of that versus Beyond. Alive versus Creator. And the winner versus Alive versus Creator and the winner versus Beyond. Sorry, no. Alive versus Creator and the winner versus Petit Drogo will not happen today. That will happen tomorrow. Doing well, just driving to work and getting my StarCraft lurk on, says Hanson House TV. Awesome, awesome. So as we get this underway, guys, Interacted Hellions actually from Cure, a bit different to what we've seen so far today. I just want to say, of course, thank you for tuning in. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that follow button. We are heading towards very quickly 35,000 followers on the channel. So that's really awesome. We're also only 7 subscribers away from 600. So if you're sitting out in the chat and you're thinking, you know, I kind of like this stream, I'm kind of liking what's going on here, you think about supporting any sort of subscribing, donating, it helps a lot. It helps us run these tournaments as well. I'll be telling that a little bit more hardcore a little bit later on. Just wanted to get that mentioned. And let's see what's gonna happen. As you do see a few Hellions heading down to the bottom right hand side. Cyclone getting set up here to defend though. Again, Reacted Hellions is a bit different. You don't see it all the time in TvT. Obviously Cure feels though you can get something done with them though, and moving forwards. He's gonna get rid of these couple Marines so far, but man, the Cyclone just helping to clean up. And Cure going to have to escape up the right hand side. As we do have another Raven about to finish up here. That's going to start heading out into the middle. Factory lifts up, going to drop onto the tech lab here. This Rax moves over to the side as well. That's going to be dropping down as the starport will take position on the reactor. So Cure going to turn this in towards Vikings and tank. Obviously just looking for the early air control and probably looking to play mech here. It would feel like with the fact he's going to reactor Vikings so early. Now we just saw Bunny play 5 games in a row, no mech at all. Pretty much just Marine tank or bio style every single game. So getting this set up and going, we see Cure ready to dive into that mech play. There's already a second factory dropping down with a third CC as well. Now Bunny has a third CC. Bunny hasn't shown us his style yet, but he takes 2 more gases, so maybe Bunny is thinking of something mech-based as well. 2 extra gases could just be because he builds a second Raven and because he's still building tanks. That is very gas-intensive. Let's see, because he will make those production choices very shortly. He is set up quite nicely to maybe move across the map now, albeit he only has one of his 2 Ravens out. He already has a tank though, so he can at least start pressing around, maybe seeing what's up. Rax is still on the reactor over here, and he will add extra barracks, so it is going to be bio, so those extra gases really are just for the Raven in the tank. And there you go, 2 extra racks on the way down. And there's Bunny. Comes up to the top, and well, Cyclones locking on, and Raven drops the auto turret. So it's an auto turret versus an interference matrix. I like the matrix though, look at that, that tank's going to die. And it doesn't really feel as though Q kind of traded out well at all in this, does it? As we do see these couple of units from Bunny backing away out into the center. Raxum Q, I mean, he's playing mech, he doesn't need this, so just going to send that as a scout for any drops coming in through the top side of the map. Tank will get sieged up. Couple Cyclones and a tank coming down through the center. And a couple of Hellions coming down the right as well, so looking to see what they can do here as those Cyclones just going to sit up on the top side from Bunny. And again, these couple of tanks just getting set as well. Raven Marines all gathering together as again Cyclones locking on just for a moment. And those couple of Hellions going to get chased away. Mikefield Accelerator is on its way up right now. Armory coming down here as well, going to finish in a few moments. So as that gets finished up, Infernal Pre-Igniter will get started as well, getting this blue flame going. I mean, there's a lot of things you want in this mech army. I'm intrigued to see how the Mikefield Accelerator comes into play, whether we really do see a lot of Cyclones being produced, or if it is just going to be for the few Cyclones that get made somewhere along the way, perhaps. So that's Mikefield coming up right now. Another factory going to drop down. No surprises there. Bunny taking some map control of the Cyclones is unfortunate to miss these Hellions, because obviously he would win that fight quite maybe not win the fight quite convincingly, but the Hellions wouldn't really want to stick around because you're just going to lose too many. Like, it's just not really worth it. Scan comes down to the bottom. We see a depot over here as well. Bunny trying to do the same thing as this Rax is doing, just watch for kind of any drops or run-bys heading around this direction in general. Obviously a mech player is less likely to drop, but Hellions running by is a pretty common occurrence. Cyclone's going to press forwards towards the center there for a moment. Another scan over in the main. Tank from QS sieges up on the third base, as we do see these couple of medevacs coming down to the bottom right hand side and getting gathered up. Raven joins up as well. Stimpak, combat shields, all coming through here at the moment. And Bunny, obviously, as those upgrades finish, really gets into the stage of the game where he can start being aggressive. He can start moving around a lot more easily and really get a lot more value out of his bio units. So, setting up for that now. Let's see what he can do if these couple of tanks, well, all of these tanks, the bio forces coming up to the top. Hellions are going to wander in here and actually going to get past that first Marine. So the Hellions actually going to find themselves on the bottom right side of the map very quickly now, as we see a lot of Hellions. Well, they do arrive, and they are going to be dishing out not very much damage at all. Those Marauders just going to shut this down. Obviously, there's some busyness up here as we see the anti-armor missile drops quite nicely, but the interference matrices from Bunny are very good to be able to drop across all of those siege tanks. Good target firing as well. He jumps that Marauder on top of this tank, so the friendly fire kills it. Really good control from Bunny, who takes a great fight over here. And knowing that these tanks are a bit out of position to the top side, he can maybe try and push through over here, pushing these tanks forwards to try and trade out. And he has got the scan, so he will win this fight against that siege tank, and this command center will go down. So Bunny, just needs some high ground vision. He's got more Marauders, so he's going to stim in from all angles. Uses it as a chance to get the tanks further up, and Bunny picks up game number 1 against Cure, breaking through the mech. The Raven at the left-hand side, we have ourselves the Red Terran, who is down a map. This, my friends, is Cure. At the top right-hand side, our Blue Terran, Bunny. Alright, so getting this going, getting this underway, as we see the refinery coming up in the main base. Again, that rack's just dropping down here. And Kua getting this set up in the early stages. TvT going to pop out. Everything going to get underway. What's up, slowly falling out in the chat? How you doing today? Good to see you on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I'm just happy we got some series lined up today. I was very stressed out about this tournament, honestly. But very happy that we got this underway and rolling quite nicely without many issues. I'm excited to see the rest of this tournament play out now, so... tomorrow we've got the European groups. Hopefully we have no issues there as well. That's also been a bit of a stress, but we've been doing okay figuring it out. Just going to have to confirm with the players today and stuff like that, but should be all good. As we do have SCV of Kua just moving around in the center of the map. Yeah, tomorrow's European playoffs, by the way. Cass versus Marine Lord, winner versus Goblin. Mana versus TLO, winner versus Harstem. Bly versus Alazer, winner versus Euthermal. Clem versus Gung Fu Banda, winner versus Denver. That comes up tomorrow from 6 PM CET. Going to be a fun StarCraft 2 Sunday evening of action. Should be great. Starport gets proxied here by Bunny. He liked doing this proxy Starport against time as well. I mean, it's a very common response against 2-Rax Reaper, but obviously he did it the first game they played as well, which was not aggressive, and he's obviously doing it now as well. Let's see what he does with the Starport. I mean, it was a Liberator when he did it against time the first time around. It was pretty much a Liberator every single time. It is usually the way you go about this. So there we go, Liberator coming up. Two Reapers and a Hellion just going to be sitting. Moving in towards this natural expansion as we see the Reaper and a couple of Marines up on the high ground and moving up here. Going to go for a couple of grenades and able to pick off a whole bunch of stuff here. This is actually very good from Bunny because Kua in some trouble. Gets 2 more Marines out now. Oh, the Hellion's getting very low. The Reaper's low too. Gets the Reaper, the Hellion. Should be able to outrange this Marine. Oh, Marine gets it. Okay, well, that was a very exciting couple of moments, wasn't it? Meanwhile, another Reaper and a Hellion show up, but the Cyclone's almost here. The defense will be good in a moment. And, well, then it comes down to the Liberator, though. So if these units can pull the Cyclone out the front, Cyclone will not be in the main to go and deal with the Liberator, which is obviously a little bit of an issue. So it's going to be seen that Liberator from Bunny is going to be moving out. Doesn't actually find a way to do anything with those Marines underneath. So Liberator just backs away towards the upper right. And as the command center gets going on the natural. Starport is just headed home, of course. Not really much else to build after a proxied Liberator. I mean, you could proxy a Cloak Banshee or something, but in TvT it's just too likely to be found. It's too likely to be dealt with. It's just not necessarily worth the time. And I mean, Cloak Banshees at this stage, after a Liberator already, really slow down the... really slow down a lot. One Lib sits over the left side against Cyclone and Hellion in the middle of the map with Magfield Accelerator. Just over halfway done. 2 more racks drop down from Bunny in the main base. And Bunny just coming through the center. And Cyclone all the way down to the bottom left-hand side. Engineering Bay coming up in the main. Again, Bio from Bunny, very confident with this. Just took down Kua's mech without having to play a long game, so probably feeling pretty good about it at the moment. Kua obviously scans here, wants to figure out what is going on while a couple of Cyclones apply pressure. Looking for the Raven lock on is the real magic number there. Doesn't find it at all though. And the Marines here lost a little bit. A couple of SCVs going down. Looks like that Liberator came back in, sieged up, but the Cyclone picking up that kill without too much of an issue. As now we have still those Cyclones up on the high ground. These couple of Ravens and Marines are kind of coming forwards again. Moving around a little bit. Oh, the 3rd CC of Kua is in some trouble. Interesting. That's just going to go down. I mean, Magpul Accelerator is done from Bunny, so those Cyclones are very powerful. Q just says, well, you know what? I don't care because I've got a very good army, and I want to try and push with it right now. And you know what? Again, I look at this, and there's interference matrices available for the siege tanks. You drop down one, you drop down the order turrets. There's another tank there. That other tank is going to get sieged up, which might be a bit of an issue. It will start to volley on towards those Marines. Next tank needs to go down now. Bunny will try and split up. He will be able to do it. Sorry, Q tries to split up, but he will be able to do it and break it into the natural expansion. Well, here come the Cyclones on return fire. Ravens do go down, and eventually this will be cleaned up. But 13 workers killed. Cure is going to be coming back in a huge, huge lead. 28 to 53 SCVs after 13 were killed here. Cure is going to be laughing right now with his position, and he just needs to set up for a defense ASAP. What happened to live creative Petit Drogo matches? They'll get be played tomorrow or over the next couple of days, I think they're called. They just couldn't play today. So our match order today as well, if you want to update it somewhere, is after Bunny Q, we're going to have Innovation versus Solar, and then we're going to have Trap Fantasy, and then Beyond versus the winner of that. Liberator goes down, 5 workers killed. There's a Liberator in the main base as well. You can only be so many places at a time. Bunny at the moment as the Lib going to get a couple more Marines as well. Oh, the lock-on, the Unsiege was a little bit favorable against the lock-on there. As you see those units hiding away up in the corner. One more upgrades and Stim Pack still coming through right now from Cure. Tracks Racks dropping down in the main, so Cure is going to play Bio himself. I feel like when you take an advantage like this one, playing mech, obviously playing mech with an advantage is very good, but there's a lot of very small things which if you do wrong as a mech player can suddenly allow a bio player to overwhelm you. And I feel like right now to just go into bio instead is probably a much safer choice, especially knowing that Bunny probably has a bit of a larger army because he didn't lose so much. Just going into bio, you get the tanks up, you have a good amount of Marines to help you hold the ground. The production is much cheaper to set up as well. It just puts you into a better position, I think. As we're going to be seeing those Marines and Cyclones on the low ground, tanks sieging up on the natural position. Already this bunker in some trouble as the Marines will stim in. Q just needs to clean this up, remember, and he is going to be good. His own tank sieging up is going to be absolutely huge for him as Bunny's army gets taken down. And Bunny unsuccessful with this, and there's nothing left for him to do, right? I mean, his third CC's delayed. He is so far behind on SCVs, and he knows that, and he just does not do anywhere near what he needs to. An hour and 40 into this stream already. Time is passing by quick. These games have been fantastic so far. Really been loving them. Hopefully you guys have been as well. Great to see so many of you out in the chat. Also, you have the top left-hand side. Our red Terran is going to be Cure. Up against the blue Terran, bottom right, Bunny. Okay, so game number 3 of this best of 5 as we get this started. And we look to see just what's going to be happening here. How is everyone doing out in the chat? Let me know if you're out there today. Let me know where you're tuning in from. It's a Saturday, so it usually means people are here from all over the place. Let me know where you're tuning in from today, guys. You out in America? You over in Canada? You over in the far east side of the world, Australia, enjoying your Saturday night? Or are you just chilling on your Saturday afternoon here in Europe with me? I want to know what's up, guys. I want to know what's going on. Let me know as we get this underway. Game number 3 of Cure versus Bunny. Com Squad in the chat, tuning in from Malaysia. Bilbo the Rabbit coming in from France. Tynemouth, UK. Hell yeah, Tynemouth. I live near Tynemouth. Dun dun dun. You brothers are Canada all over here, bud. Says Condog. Poland from Blazer. Sweden. Czechia. Nashville, USA. America, FLA. Southern California, up early. Tanner first, here with the StarCraft passion. Slightly stupid rocking it out in Texas. A little bit later in the day, at least. Not quite the 6 a.m. Colorado. East Coast, USA. Antwerp, Belgium. PH. What's PH, Philly? Czech Republic, Poland, left coast? Left coast? What's left coast? Is that like the new way of saying west coast? Cologne, Philly, Brazil. Loving that one. I loved it when I went to Brazil. Brazil was the first time I ever got to cast a major StarCraft 2 event offline. Yorkshire, Ontario. Papa Mitch is up in the house today as well. Hello, Papa Mitch. How you doing? Okay, guys. Basically, you're all around the world. Quite literally. Literally everywhere. That's just crazy. We must have gone through at least 10 plus countries there. Reaper moving around, as the early game has been pretty passive. Kira built his CC on the high ground. He's a little bit later than Bunny, so nothing too ridiculous about that. The players have got their starports up at similar timings. Bunny just going in towards a tech lab on his, while a Raven comes out from Kira's. So just a little bit of a different way of approaching this, as we have got the Hellions again coming down to the bottom right. 5 Hellions in the Reaper going to push in towards the natural. Again, it was this reacted factory. So Kira kind of back to what he was doing in game number 1, which obviously didn't see too much success. Cyclone locks onto a Hellion, picks up the kill. Grenade bops back a Marine. Hellions continue to fight. The Cyclone lock on. Good to get another kill there as well. Kira still moving up to the top side of the map. All of those Hellions gathering together in this. Again, Siege Tank coming out on either side also. As you do see those couple of Marines on the way up. And a Raven from Bunny. You guys still telling me where you tuning in from. It's awesome, guys. Honestly, you guys from literally all over the place. I could sit here and talk to you guys all day about where everyone's from and places I want to go. Sometimes we have to talk about the game, though. Otherwise, we get shouted at by Twitch chat. Cool to see, though. Cool to see. Viking will land and looks forward SCV. Gets it nice and quickly. Command center delayed. Bunny taking anything he can get at the moment. Anything he can get. Raven about to finish up from Kira here. Tanking a couple more Marines on the way out. Starport going to lift off that tech lab and move up towards the reactor. And as you see, a bunch of units here from Bunny again together. Viking, Cyclone, Hellion, and the Reaper. The Raven comes in as well. All of this just stacking up, and Bunny going for this a little bit of an aggressive push. Again, I feel as though Kira's build is very weak against this, because the Hellions don't feel like they do that much to help defend this sort of an attack. Obviously, the tanks get quite pretty quickly nullified a lot of the time by the Ravens. So if you push in here right now, 2 Matrix come down. You drop those 2 Matrix, and this could be huge. Here we go. He's going to drop Matrix after Matrix. Multiple auto turrets come down, but I mean, the tanks are sieged, and Vikings pushing in as well. It feels like Kira's just already in too much trouble. That tank comes out of the interference Matrix now, sure, but I mean, you're going to be able to get the kill on that. The Vikings are going to stay on the ground to help out a little bit longer, but they'll want to lift up and kill off that Raven eventually. And that Raven is super low. That new siege tank coming forwards here. And still just going to be seeing another auto turret dropping down and try and help deal with it. A Cyclone's locked on, so the tank falls. Bunny has killed 18 SCVs during this attack, and he still has tanks left over. Quick game as Bunny has... it was made possible by you guys usually continuing to support. So if you guys do like the, if you guys are loving the channel, if you're loving the stream, if you're loving this tournament, do consider supporting. It goes a long, long way to helping out. Change the sub goal. Okay, hang on. Settings, subscribe account, 597. There we go. Boom. Don't know why 597, it just came to my mind. I wanted to donate, but why does Streamlabs make me sign up for a $5.99 monthly fee? That's only if you try and use one of the kind of the fancy things that you need kind of pro Streamlabs for. You do not need it. If you just click on the link and you fill out the donation, you don't need to sign up, you don't need to pay a monthly fee or anything. It's just don't try and use any of the fancy backgrounds or anything like that. That's the stuff you need to pay for. If you just type in a message, type in your username, and press donate, it doesn't cost you anything at all. I accidentally signed up for it. That sucks. Is that a thing? Is that a thing that happens a lot? Proxy T-Rex here by Kua, as he is top right, the blue Terran, bottom left, red Terran is Bunny. If that's actually a thing, and that's something that affects multiple people, I will genuinely look into moving into another option from Streamlabs, because that's not cool at all. In the slightest, actually. It's actually really shitty. I've never had it be an issue when I've donated to people, but if that's something that you guys notice and feel like it's worth looking at, I'll definitely look at it, because I don't want you guys being accidentally kind of charging you guys. Why does Wardy only have the second part of the Ratata meeting? Because base trade have the first heart. It's a combo. Few provers on the way out here. Smitty RN comes in with the $5. Hope you figured it out, dude. Hope it didn't charge you. Says you can have my Prime sub in 7 days. Best of luck in the casters tourney and keep up the great work. Thank you so much, buddy. What? Maybe it goes across. It's just a build order loss, isn't it? Aye. So, sorry, I know I wasn't paying attention. He went Rax, Expand, Reactor Factory. It's just a build order loss. Like, a Reaper Expand with the Reactor coming down, you just don't have any. It is going wild here today. 2 best of 5 TvTs, both of them going to all 5 games. I'm loving it so far. Hopefully you guys are as well. Top left, our red Terran player. This is Kua. Up against the blue Terran player, of course, in the bottom right-hand side, just did not have the build he needed against the 2-Rax Reaper in game number 4. This is Bunny, who has been so deadly with some of the attacks here today. Let's see what he can continue with as we get this underway. Again, 3 more best of 5s to come after this. Innovation versus Solar. We also have Trap versus Fantasy, and our final series today will be Bjorn versus the winner of Trap versus Fantasy. Again, if you're thinking about Petit Drogo or Alive or anything, then that will be coming up in a little bit of a different timing here. That'll be done a little bit differently. So, Creative versus Alive, the winner versus Petit Drogo, those matches are happening not today. We'll try and get you updates on when those happen ASAP. We're only 6 subs away from 600. We gained a sub and no one even popped up in chat. How does that work? That's bonkers. That's like magic. Did you see this first Reaper heading down to the bottom right-hand side? Reaper of Bunny is already out, and he sets up a bunker because he is expanding kind of fast, but so is Kua this time around, so should be okay as we see the grenade goes down. The SCV gets killed, and the Reaper and the Marine will, of course, win the fight against the Reaper. And again, both of them, it's funny, isn't it, though? Bunny takes that risk again. He builds an extra Marine this time and then the Reactor, but that's just the difference here. Building the Marine, then the Reactor, rather than the Reactor straight away from Kua. Bunny just being a little bit safer. As we do see here, his Reaper actually chased up to the top side, looking for the Reaper of his opponent, but did not find it. Starport builds on both sides of the map here as well, so getting that starport going with the orbital coming down from each player also. See this Reaper of Bunny going to be able to come forwards and take a couple of positions to try and see what's going on. Reaper and a Hellion from Kua moving out onto the map as well. So all of this just getting set up and look and see what's going to be happening. That starport finishing. And the factory lifts up off of the tech lab, moves to the side. The starport going to take its place on the tech lab too. I mean, we've seen Ravens game after game after game so far today. Are we going to see them one more time? Honestly, it would not surprise me at all. Would make a lot of sense, I think. So getting set up into that. Reaper pops the grenade down. Reaper and a Hellion get bopped back a little bit. Helene just going to be hanging out on the naturals. We do see Reaper and the Helene of Bunny gathering up as well. A couple more Marines on the way out. And we do just see that Stimpack still coming through. The command center dropping in on the main base for the third. And we get this TvT well and truly underway. Yeah, guys, a little bit of the lag is just the Korean server. It doesn't like us every game, so sometimes it is just a little bit laggy like this. There's nothing we can do other than to deal with it. Sometimes it's okay, though. Like, sometimes it just turns out and it's like, hey, you know what? We're fine right now. It's like, oh, cool. Well, that's nice. Do you see the Helene took a little shot or two here and there. Bunny out in the center with these units, as we do have Helene moving forwards. The Reaper on the far right side as well is going to be kind of back and forth at the moment. Two engineering bays of Cure on the way up in the main base. As the first siege tank, both siege tanks get sieged here right away. Reaper to the bottom side of the map is going to be able to pick up a Marine kill. Nice and easily, no problem at all there. As we'll see, well, Reaper's just going to hide all the way over in the left-hand corner. On the right side, we see the medevac getting picked. Sorry, not the medevac. The Reaper or the Helene getting picked off. I really thought that was a medevac with the way it looked. In fact, Xavier coming in with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a whole bunch of bits to charity. 20 bits. Thank you so much. Again, if you do share any bits, guys, remember to hashtag charity. A fifth of everything you do, everything you cheer on Twitch, with the hashtag charity message, goes into the charity fund. So if you donate 100 bits to me, 20 cents also goes to charity. We're using a VPN, improve the connection. I've not found a VPN that I can stream on that's good for Korean servers, so no, not really. Interference Matrix on the Raven and the tank, but obviously Interference Matrix he's already came down from Cure, so Bunny gets overrun. The Marine count here from Cure very good to push this away. And Cure is going to be able to push out into the center of the map here, so pushing forwards. A few of these Marines getting picked off already. Yeah, the issue is if I use a VPN, as these Vikings do land, oh, they actually get quite a lot of damage done with the auto turret as well. Oh, this is actually going to be a siege tank going down. These Vikings are still picking up more SCVs. Okay, well, that's 10 kills. Suddenly, Bunny finds quite a lot of damage on this counter-attack on the far left. Liberator siege up here is going to be seeing Hellions and Marines going at each other. The Liberator holds in the sky for a long time, gets a lot of damage done. Now tank siege in range, and Bunny will clean this attack up. Loses some workers, but he kills 14 with those Vikings still in play over here. Oh, the command center is so low, but it will not go down. Kira is able to save it, and that's obviously absolutely huge, keeping this orbital command alive at this stage. Very good save from Kira, but still expensive on the SCV count. Marines, medevacs, and a tank. They are going to gather up out in the center here now. Orbital command coming in on the third base. We see this medevac going up again, moving up the right side. For a moment was having to think as to what might be going on. A few more Marines loading up into the medevacs now as well. And we still have Bunny over to the right hand side. A couple more tanks getting set to go, as we are going to be seeing Marines able to pick up a Viking kill. And again, this army of Kira is going to keep on pressing forwards. He's actually going to find the third base, and, well, Bunny was loaded up into medevac. So, Bunny out of position now. His third base is in some trouble. The tanks from Kira will siege. And, well, Bunny has to pull SCVs into this. Suddenly, Kira is going to make a lot of damage happen. Tanks are already target firing Kira. Great target fire there to get a lot of damage done. He is able to clean up a lot of units right now. As you see those Marines pushing forwards. Another tank falling. 18 SCVs have gone down. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 18 SCVs going down there, as we do see those medevacs of Kira backing away over to the left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, the sensor tower gets placed down as well. Another few units jumping up into those medevacs, trying to see what they can do with a few of those empty medevacs. Just going to go back, wait for more units. So Kira going to keep up the pressure. He's up by 10 workers at the moment. Army supply is still around similar as well. 2 upgrades starting on both sides of the map, plus 1 vehicle weapons on the way out here from Cura as well. So just getting that up and running. Loads of the Marines decided to send the siege tank back home. Obviously wasn't quite sure what sort of drop or position he would be able to get into with this, so... All said and done, by the way, as if you get to 3 bases apiece, both of them have a sense tower on their 3rd base, and so we're in this position where it's going to be very, very difficult for either to really break through the other. It's going to be really, really tough. A couple of tanks going to unsiege and move forwards with the rest of this here. Couple of Vikings tanks, a Raven. A lot more Marines coming out into the center. Scan dropping down. As you see more of these Marines setting up here from Cura as well. It's a very bright light, that. I just sort of look at it like, that's really bright. Marines here from Bunny will not be able to push through. Cura's going to be able to keep making some progress. Bunny sieges though, and that means that Cura can't go up that ramp. Scans coming down from both places to try and see just where their opponents are positioning. Missiles coming down. That's actually really nice. Still having the anti-armor on the Raven means that dropping this onto Cura's army makes it a little bit weaker. Maybe gives Bunny the chance to push through this now. He does take a bit of an army supply lead as Bunny is pressing forwards. Vikings in the sky trading out with each other, but it's Bunny who has the air control as well. And Cura doesn't have any tanks left over, as his 4th base will be in trouble. Cura, does he actually have just no tanks? He has 1 tank against 7. Oh man, well Cura's in some trouble then, because obviously there's nothing to stop Bunny just slowly leapfrogging forwards. And that's exactly what's starting to happen here. There's a tank shot. Deals some damage. Moving in, we see the tank going down. More Marines picking up units. 4th base cancelled from Cura, but he is in trouble. He's floundering. He lost too many siege tanks, and because of that, he's struggling to recover. Now he loads up, goes for a big drop into the main. Obviously, Cura's out of position, but no! He is here. Now actually he's going to grab 1 medevac. He will get 2. 2 siege tanks in it going down. This is maybe Cura's response to get back in the game as Bunny gets a little bit overzealous, gets punished for it, and it's a play that allows Cura to maybe keep himself alive here. Still can't fight though with the Marines alone, doesn't have the numbers, has to bring the units back out of the main now that he's deflected down the drop. Another siege tank setting up here as the Marines are going to stem out, so this is Cura's opportunity. He has a good spread of Marines. He will come in here with a lot of units, but the tank splash is so great, and it's going to be difficult. He gets rid of all but 2 tanks, and he will be pushed back. He has his own siege tank now on the high ground, so he could potentially hold on to this. But remember, during all of this, Bunny has got a 4th command center about to finish building. Bunny has got the chance to expand. He's got the map control, whereas Cura is just consistently trying to defend and stay alive. Push to the 3rd base now, and that's going to test Cura's ability to react once again. Tanks get siege, and they will cover this ramp. That's painful, and obviously it's going to be Cura taking the first shots from that as he has to push into position. Another tank sieges up from Bunny. It just feels as though without the tanks here, Cura will struggle to get enough done. He's trying to make some Vikings maybe get air control and get Liberators out, but it's going to take him a long time. These tanks coming forward, they take so much damage. 1 tank down, the other tank's going to get blown up as well. Cura has lost too much. Bunny takes it down 3-2. What a game number 5. What a win.